Welcome to The Anxious Morning. Every weekday morning, we'll take a few minutes to go over important lessons that you can use in your anxiety recovery journey. The Anxious Morning brings you support, education, inspiration, encouragement, and empowerment. Read or listen quietly on your own time, free of the endless, noisy scroll of social media. Use the information to help you along the path to recovery from panic disorder, agoraphobia, and other anxiety problems. For more, visit us at theanxiousmorning.com. Why did The Anxious Morning have to launch on January 3rd? Well, this was the worst day of the year for me. The Anxious Morning could really only launch today. There's poetry and justice in the fact that our first edition is being published on January 3rd. This is the day that the holiday break officially ends for most of the world, and we return to reality. Did I mention that it was the worst day of the year? I did, right? For a struggling agoraphobic, a 7 to 10 day break where the world places no demands on you and it is permissible to hide in your house all the time is like a gift sent from above. You mean avoidance is okay now? I can spend a week or so at a safe distance from all my panic triggers and all the scary things? Sign me up. The sense of relief at the start of the break was awesome, but after a few days, I would become aware that what I was doing was likely not healthy. I knew that not leaving the house for 3 days straight was not okay, but I did nothing about it. I would stick my head between the cushions and deny reality. It was only December 28th. I still had time. Come New Year's Eve, the end of the break was looming before me. Depression would start to creep in. Dread would start to build. It was almost over. My avoidance and retreat hall pass was going to expire in a few days, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. The break would end, and I would start a new year in a dark place, feeling worse than I did before, worse about everything. I felt like I was failing, and more on that in a few days. I was on a roller coaster of panic, anxious moments, and really low moods. I was afraid of pretty much everything in front of me, and I was incredibly unhappy about all of it. How could such a great thing turn into this? I would ask that every year, yet I would repeat the same mistake every year. The first 7 to 10 days of January was a mighty struggle. The whole world was in new year, new me mode, but I had taken a giant step backwards. Everything, including my own emotional state, was a challenge. By January 10th, I would be exhausted just from trying to get back to my normal state of anxiety and avoidance. That was no way to live. Now, if you're struggling today, like I used to struggle back then, know that you're not the only one and that it doesn't have to be like this forever. This is not the worst day of the year for me anymore. Things are different now. As we launch The Anxious Morning together today, I am hopeful that if I do a good job and things work out just right, maybe I can contribute to things being different for you too. Maybe today will be your last worst day of the year. I'm so glad that you're here at the start of The Anxious Morning. I'm excited about what we have ahead of us. Tomorrow morning, we'll ask the question, does the ultimate panic attack exist? So let's go. Now, if you like the podcast and you want to have the podcast and full text delivered to your email every morning, just go to theanxiousmorning.email and subscribe. And for the rest of my content, visit me at theanxioustruth.com.